hope all is well. This is Chris with That Sports Podcast, and I'm back again. But this time, all love goes to one team and one team only. That is my Houston beautiful Texans. And yes, we are going to be Super Bowl champs. I know you saw the thumbnail. I know you saw the video. We will win it all this year. Now, the reality is, though, the Texans have a lot of things that we need to work on. Number one, of course, obviously, is main objective, C.J. Stroud, right? And as you saw in the thumbnail, and that's why you clicked or you tapped, C.J. Stroud has a huge expectation on his back. And it's crazy because I'm here to break down the fact that it might not even be just him that's under pressure. It could be everything else around him. With Higgins being out for the season due to the practice thing that just happened not too long ago, probably less than a week, we have signed Zay Jones and Sterling Shepard, and we just made a trade today for Kayshon Boutte from the Patriots. I remember Kayshon Boutte, one hand, corner of the end zone. Yeah, I remember him very, very well. With that being said, on top of this, we need to understand that we always had bad receiver play under C.J. Stroud. The greatest time that we had good receiver play is in 2023. We had Tank Dell and a full season of Tank Dell before he got hurt. And then, of course, Nico Collins before he got hurt, which kind of seems to be the ongoing thing in that receiver room. We never really had a top dog receiver. Am I excited about the Kayshon Boutte, Zay Jones, and, of course, Shepard signing? I'm not dropping dropping and saying go to Vegas, time to put the bets in. I'm not saying that I'm not in love with it either. Look, we're dating right now. We're just trying to figure each other out. You know what I mean? And with that being said, there's going to be some things that you do like and you don't like. I wish that maybe in the draft we would have gotten another big body receiver when Denzel Boston was on the board. But also, that kind of alludes to my other thing that C.J. Stroud has to worry about. Consistency at the offensive line. We drafted a guard. Now he's our starting center. That tells me everything that I need to know that we clearly cannot draft centers. So, with that being said, we have to work on the front lines, the trenches. That's where the game is always won. We finally got our tackle situation straight. Of course, signing a couple of guys in this offseason. But getting the interior of the line has been a problem for Houston. We did it with Kenyon Green, Juice Struggs. The list can go on. We had musical chairs going on in that mug, and I don't even know what to tell you at this point. I'm just happy to see Big Red Rutledge out there just dogging folks out. And it is preseason. I'm getting the hype over something that, might not even happen in the real season. Remember, there was one year where the Lions went 4-0 in the preseason, and they didn't even make playoffs. So, with that being said, I talk to you again. CJ has no control over the offensive line. He has to extend plays, and if you watch the Steelers game, it showed everything wrong with how the game was thrown. Minus the interceptions, but the fumbles, CJ actually played fairly decent. I didn't say great nor good. I didn't say amazing or worthwhile. It was decent. He did what he needed to do. I just need CJ to be a game manager. I wouldn't even go out there and throw 3 to 4 touchdowns every single game. Absolutely not. That ain't gonna cut it for me. I mean, well, actually, I would love for him to go out there and throw 3 or 4 touchdowns every week. But the reality is, though, that's just not who CJ has prone to become yet to be. And on top of that, too, it's not like we're in like a top dog division. We just really got to worry about the Jags and whatever the coach tried to throw at us at quarterback. That's really it. We know that the Titans are still trying to currently rebuild and these things of this nature. So it shouldn't be a hard division. Really, Jaguars are the only comp that we got right now. With all of that, in addition to some more, CJ's receiving core, his offensive line, have been worked on. Also, we drafted Lewis Bond. Don't think that I forgot about him. I actually thought he was a steal out of Boston College watching his game, especially as I watch a lot of college football. However, the missing piece of all of this, what makes a good passing game, a great run game. We added David Montgomery. A lot of people were in love with David Montgomery being the top guy after Joe Mixon's departure and, of course, Nick Chubb's retirement. For me, honestly, if I could have done it right, David Montgomery is a great pickup piece for us. But will he be a true feature number 1 back when we already have Woody Marks? Woody Marks actually came onto the season last year, very effective, exceptionally well, really good. Now you're saying to yourself, how does this all tie to CJ? How does this even work with CJ? Stick with me now, please. We got this far. We might as well keep going, right? So, with that being said about, my boy David Montgomery, is he going to be a true number one back? Because if you watched, the Lions kind of stopped using him and started leaning more on Jameer. And Gibbs was doing exceptionally well in the one-back system at one point for the Lions. And Montgomery was just, a complimentary back at this point. Hey, tap the helmet, come in, get a couple of runs, we're good. I don't need David Montgomery to be that type of back. I need to know that you could be a true workhorse. But he's also 30.
Just a miscommunication up front by this offensive line, and he just gets a direct shot at Fernando, and there's nothing he can do here. He doesn't even have time to try to escape and get out of the pocket. The Goodwin just takes it.
I'm not going to lie. It looked like, I know that David Montgomery is sitting out, but Woody Marks looks like he can do a solid job, There was only one drive with the true starters out there. So it's really hard for me to get a good measuring stick of who they really can be and what they're going to become and what kind of style they have. Because you don't want to show too much in preseason. You don't want to show a lot. I don't think that the Texans will be all the way 100% just yet until about maybe like week 3 or 4 when it comes to what they're going to do on offense and their identity. But the run game, yes, that's probably going to be the true X factor in just making CJ's success as a QB even better. Last but of course not least, the offensive coordinator. Nick Haley is just a very interesting man. That's all I'm going to say. He's got a lot. I'm not going to say he has a whole bunch of weapons because I would like to see more from Noel. I would like to see more from Hutchinson. I would like to see more from Cade. I like to see more from, Clyde looks good, and Schultz looks good at tight end. I'd love to see more from whatever going on with Brevin Jordan. When he was on the field, he was good. I don't know if he's on the team anymore at this point, to be honest with you. I think
everybody, welcome back to the Outside the Quad and That Square Sports Podcast. It's yours truly, Chris, and I'm here to tell you about the players. Well, they got to prove it this year, or else they're pretty much cooked. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead. I know what you came for. Go ahead, let's dive in. Tank Dell, number 1. As a Texans fan, I thought this was a steal for us in the 3rd round when we drafted him. And when he got on the field, I was like, this is it. Everything we asked for. Amazing football player. He going to do the dang thing. And then he got hurt twice, 3 times. On the field and off the field. But before he left, 2 years ago, this was his stats. 51 receptions, 666 yards, and 3 tutties. Now, I'm sitting here saying, all right, that's fairly reasonable for a receiver. He did not play last year. So if we're going to project what he's going to be in the future, I'm going to say, as a respectable guy for a Texans fan who knows our receiver room and knows that our offensive line has some woes, I'm cool with him just putting up simply 4 to 5 touchdowns. I'm cool with that. Next on the list, believe it or not, is Odell Beckham. Everybody, welcome back to Outside the Quad and That Square Sports Podcast. It's yours truly, Chris, and I'm here to tell you about the players. Well, they got to prove it this year, or else they're pretty much cooked. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead. I know what you came for. Go ahead, let's dive in. Tank Dell, number 1. As a Texans fan, I thought this was a steal for us in the 3rd round when we drafted him. And when he got on the field, I was like, this is it. Everything we asked for. Amazing football player. He going to do the dang thing. And then he got hurt twice, 3 times. On the field and off the field. But before he left, 2 years ago, this was his stats. 51 receptions, 666 yards, and 3 tutties. Now, I'm sitting here saying, all right, that's fairly reasonable for a receiver. He did not play last year. So if we're going to project what he's going to be in the future, I'm going to say, as a respectable guy for a Texans fan who knows our receiver room and knows that our offensive line has some woes, I'm cool with him just putting up simply 4 to 5 touchdowns. I'm cool with that. Next on the list, believe it or not, is